The mother was holding her like 3-year-old baby and just clutching her so tight, like she could hardly breathe.
Couldn't sleep, When I went to bed, I was thinking about the parents, and I woke up. So the first thing that I thought was, coming by to leave the flowers and pray for her.
Every time I seen her, she was happy. She was just like, she like enjoyed being with her sisters, with her sister and her nephew.
On the Upper West Side of Manhattan, nannies push strollers to nearby Central Park while well-to-do parents are at work. Against this background, an unthinkable crime shook a nation. On October 25th, 2012, 2 young children were brutally murdered in their own home while their parents were away.
Lulu Krim on the stand reliving the nightmare of October 2012 when she found her children Lulu and Leo stabbed to death in the bathtub of the family's Upper West Side apartment. Friday, a defense attorney asked Krim about talking to police after the murders. Krim grew upset and yelled, "I don't remember what I said that day. I was grieving in a massive way." Krim testified a few weeks before the murders, she saw the nanny, quote, looking at me with this glare on her face that was just pure evil, a really weird, mean look.
The scene was like something out of a horror film. 2 young children lay stabbed and dying in the bathtub. The nanny, also bleeding from stab wounds and in critical condition. She stabbed her neck and slit her wrists. Yoselyn Ortega was transported to New York Presbyterian Cornell Medical Center, where she had been treated for stab wounds to her throat and wrists while remaining under the watchful eye of the NYPD.
The first witness after Marina Krim was a former doorman at the building. Thomas Brown testified the nanny never said a word to him over the months that he worked there until the day of the murders. As she pulled a wagon with Lulu and Leo through the lobby of 57 West 75th Street, she asked the doorman, "Is the mom upstairs?" He told her no, she'd left. An hour later, the children were dead.
If we go back to the incident, that afternoon, Marina had taken her other child, Nessie, to a swimming lesson. She was waiting to meet with Ortega and her other children after the lesson. When the nanny did not arrive, Marina and Nessie went home, where Marina's nightmare began. Finding the bodies of her children Lucia, age 6, and Leo, age 2, stabbed and dead in the bathtub. Trying to understand the motive behind a crime is always a difficult task. An anonymous police source stated that Yoselyn harbored resentment toward the Krim family. Let's go into resentment a little more.
Resentment is a form of anger, but it's not the explosive anger. It's when you hold stuff in. Angry feelings or feelings of shame that you don't address, that it can turn into resentment. Once resentment builds, you'll start noticing that you're annoyed with your partner. You don't want to be around them. You don't like them. It can even turn into hate and disgust of your partner.
Marina was everything Yoselyn wished she had. Yoselyn was an immigrant from the Dominican Republic. She was 50 years old at the time when she murdered the children. She was living on Riverside Drive in Manhattan's Hamilton Heights neighborhood with her 17-year-old son Jesus, her sister, and her niece. She was paid $18 an hour as a babysitter. In interviews with the New York Police Department, Yoselyn claimed she was upset with Marina. Yoselyn had asked for more hours due to money troubles by suggesting she could do housework. The police department and friends of the nanny said she indicated that she was upset because the Krims would not pay her more money. Yoselyn agreed to be interviewed in the hospital without the presence of a lawyer. She allegedly told police detectives that Marina knows what happened. Allegedly, Marina was upset with Yoselyn for not interacting with the children enough and for feeding them junk food. Yoselyn did not confess to the killing of the children during this interview. By all accounts, the Krims' relationship with their nanny was overwhelmingly positive. Yoselyn had been with the family for 2 years and was treated as a trusted member of the household. The Krims even took a family vacation to the Dominican Republic and stayed with Yoselyn's sister. In Marina's blog, she wrote that they had spent 9 days in the Dominican Republic and half that time was with Yoselyn's sister in Santiago. They met Yoselyn's amazing family, and the Dominican Republic is a wonderful country. Yoselyn never complained about the Krims, according to her friends. She was treated well and paid well. The Krims paid for her to fly to the Dominican Republic to visit her family. She was happy to put in extra hours whenever the Krims needed help. Nothing in the Krims' 2-year relationship with Yoselyn could have predicted this terrible crime. And even though her motive remains a mystery, further rumors have circulated that Yoselyn was suffering from financial hardship, as mentioned previously, and was worried that the Krims might fire her in the wake of her argument with Marina the night before the murders.
On October 25th, 2012, Yoselyn Ortega, this defendant, intentionally and savagely slaughtered Lucia Krim and Leo Krim, murdering them in the family's apartment, in the bathroom of their apartment at 57 West 75th Street here in New York County. Lucia was known as Lulu, and she was 6 years old. Leo had just turned 2. And the defendant, this defendant, who was at the time their 50-year-old babysitter, was entrusted with their care, and she viciously and violently attacked Lulu and Leo when she was alone in the apartment with them, when she knew that their mother was out of the apartment, when she knew that their mother was with their 3-year-old sister, and she was alone with the children in the apartment. As I said, the defendant waited until she was sure that the mother was out of the apartment before she returned to the apartment with Lulu and Leo that afternoon, took knives from the kitchen, and repeatedly slashed and stabbed them in the bathroom of the apartment, laying their bodies on top of one another to bleed out in the bathtub. The evidence will show that the defendant returned to the apartment on October 25th, 2012, with Leo and Lulu.
For murder in the first degree, 2 counts, you're sentenced to the maximum penalty of the rest of your life in state prison, no possibility of parole.